-25 degrees, maybe that's it.
What can I do about that? What can
It's
I
the
do?
microphone rubbing on your clothes.
Oh, this is amateur.
Thank you for, this is better now?
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
I wish my throat could be fixed the same way. Thank you. So, and the U.S., the Secret Service also has the biggest offices outside of Washington, D.C. And Secret Service is an important body in U.S. power structure, as you probably know, all of you, because they take over power automatically if the president and the vice president, for some reason, is not available in a situation of catastrophe or war or whatever is going to happen. Then Secret Service takes over, and they also are determined where the president and the vice president should be. If they tell him to go, he has to go. Leave the room. The Security and Exchange Commission is interesting and maybe pertinent in this connection. It is a body which deals with everything regarding fraud and corruption in corporate America. And at that time, they had between 3,000 and 4,000 unsolved cases in these offices. Among these cases being the WorldCom scandal and most of the Enron scandal, which you probably are all aware of. 10,000 people lost their pension due to that. On the 23rd floor, the Office of Emergency Management was located. It's very interested on its own, but I do not have time to come further into that. Now we are switching the clock till 20 minutes past 5 in the afternoon. This is 7 hours after the collapse of the North Tower when this thing happened.
It's gone, man.
This was Building 7. If some of you haven't seen it before, there's no way back. Because this was a pivotal event. I have the same thing. There are many recordings of this collapse, not many, 5, 6. I'll show 3. The next one is taken down the street, West Broadway Street, and you can see from a distance how gigantic this building was. Even after American standards, it would be the 3rd highest building in 30 of American states if it had been standing today. The next clip is taken from Midtown Manhattan at a distance, and where you can see the profile of the building, exactly how it comes down. The voice over here is a voice of Dan Rather, who for 40 years was a very trusted news anchor, I believe, on CBS. I have to crank up the sound because it's a little weak.
And again, what you're seeing are high shots. Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself. Now we go to videotape the collapse of this building. It's amazing. Amazing, incredible picture word. For the 3rd time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down. And
now, World Trade Center fell down in a little tiny pile, about 20 meters, 2 stories high. We see it here. There's nothing left but the steel frame. Everything else was pulverized, and it went away. It fell into its own footprint without very much damage on the buildings surrounding it. Maybe there's a chunk taking off the building here in the corner. Viewed from the south, you see again the facades here. Maybe there's a little damage, but it's surprisingly exact, hitting its own footprint. And there's not much space in Manhattan. you'll see the panels actually being folded in over. I put in this picture to illustrate the event of hitting its own footprint. It was taken, of course, at a time when the world was still standing. This is a car, okay? So there's quite a way down here from the top of the South Tower, and this is the building, and it's actually hitting its own foot. It's packing together somehow on a very confined space down here. We call this process an implosion. It is the opposite of an explosion. We all know if a pressure in a container is too big, it goes in all directions. But imagine that you could suck out all the air of, say, a soda can, it would collapse into itself. This we call implosion as a description of this event, because the inner of the building went down first, and then the outer panels kind of folded in on top of the inner panels, as you can see from the picture here.
Were any people killed in that?
Nobody was killed at this event. The building was evacuated for... It's very convenient, actually. We had a little crash. Not even that. Okay. The building was evacuated at 10 o'clock in the morning, and nobody was killed. So the building was empty when it collapsed.